Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody to Jhana Grove Meditation Retreat Center. My name is Ajahn Santutthi, and I am going to be teaching the weekend retreat. So, yes, so a lot of new faces. Yeah? Hands up. Anybody new? Wow. It's going to be difficult to try to teach you how to meditate. Okay, we're just waiting for a few more people to come in. So a lot of beginners here. So first time meditating as well, I presume. Yes, yeah. I think it's always nice to, when you're beginning, trying to learn how to meditate and just having that enthusiasm and motivation to give it a go. And having you come here for a particular reason, and you do understand that the reason why you meditate is to settle the mind, to make it calm. Yeah, and also to get some clarity, I think, to see the world for what it is. It's sort of like I was just walking around in the dark and just looking into the bush. You can just see like the silhouettes of the trees, and you're sort of looking at it and you don't really know what's out there. Is that a bush? What's that noise? Is that a frog? Is it a rat? You can't really see. You don't really know because it's dark. And our minds are like that in a sense. We can't really see things clearly. Our minds are in somewhat of a bit of darkness. And what meditation does is it helps us bring more clarity, more light onto what we see. So tomorrow morning, when you look out into the forest, you can actually see what is there. You can see the trees. You can understand where that sound is coming from. Is it a rat? Is it a rabbit? Now you know what it is. And in a sense, when you're meditating, like the mind becomes brighter, and you see things. You just see things like differently. Your mind lives more in the present moment. And there's something nice about that. It's like to be able to be present throughout the day. Just being present in this moment, you can forget about what happened at work. If you can be present in this moment, you can feel the freedom that being in the present moment gives you. And this mind of ours, it likes to move around a lot. And the part of the meditation is to bring it back into the moment. Just a simple mindfulness practice, just bringing your mind back into this moment. So it doesn't wander. The mind can wander, you can plan. It's like, oh, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? I talked to my brother, and he's like really into Bitcoin, right? And he goes, oh, this is the time. I said, yeah, it's the time for meditation, not for Bitcoin. And his mind is like, in a sense, consumed over what's going to happen next. And he said, yeah, it's tiring to have this kind of mind. And that mind is a mind which is not in the moment. That mind's a mind which is, in the future, just making plans, which is understandable because he's going to have a family soon, and he needs the money and all that kind of stuff. and yeah, he thinks he's doing the right thing, so good on him. But you can see that when the mind starts to worry and move away from this moment, it can cause the mind a little bit of trouble, a little bit of turbulence. The mind is unsettled. It doesn't feel right. And that's one thing that we can reflect on over the next couple of days. It's like, how do I feel right now? Do I feel a certain way because my mind's off into the past? Or do I feel a certain way because my mind's off into the future? And there's a connection there. How you're feeling now it can be caused by the thoughts that you may be having. Or how you're feeling now can be caused by the lack of thought that you're having in your mind. And the meditation retreat is geared towards giving us that opportunity to not interact with one another. In a sense, it's quite strict. You can't talk. Some other places, I think, is a little bit more stricter. You can't even look at each other. And some other places are super strict. You got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But in this retreat, it's kind of like we're going to just take it easy on this retreat. It's like in the past retreats that I taught, on the schedule, it would say to wake up at 4 o'clock, and I'm thinking, oh, you guys don't want to wake up at 4, do you? I don't want to wake up at 4. So if I don't want to wake up at 4, I can't make you guys wake up at 4. And it's the weekend. You're supposed to be sleeping in. You're supposed to be having a good time. And I was thinking, coming here, you don't really have a good time. But you get time to relax and let go, to live in the moment. And that's all you need to do. And this facility allows that to happen. You get your own bedrooms. Hopefully the walls are soundproof so you can snore. And you can get up at whatever time you want. You can sleep in. You can miss breakfast. You can miss lunch. You can do whatever you want, pretty much. In the confines of the structure. So this place there's a nice thing about a large property, because taking from my experience, I was living in a house. I think for about 11 months, we were building a place in Rolling Stone. So we were renting a house, and we were going there every day, not every day, but 5 days a week, and we were just renovating it. And just living in a house, there's no places to go, there's no walks to go on. You're just stuck in a room, and it's, in a sense, kind of like claustrophobic. And it didn't feel natural to me because I've been living in the bush or in the forest for a very, very long time. And but I had to do what I had to do to get the place built so that we can move in to Rolling Stone. And now we've been living in Rolling Stone for about a couple of months, and it's just like being back in the forest again. Even though you have your small bedroom, and the place that I set up is not that big, but you have the forest there. So if you don't feel lazy and you want to walk, you can go for a walk. And just like a walk in nature with nothing to really disturb you. You don't take your cell phones with you. You don't take any music or anything to distract you. You just take yourself and you just walk into the forest. And there's a beautiful forest here, and the weather is nice. and things are starting to become green. And this is all you got to do this weekend, is to just reconnect with the present moment. Because it is true, our minds are not always in the moment. We live busy lives. We have things to think about. And, for myself, I get caught up in that as well. Monks are not always Zen. We don't walk around like, we're like everybody else, but we've been doing this for a long time, and we can understand from our own experience how beneficial it is to be present and to live in the moment. And that's all you're doing when you're here, when you're meditating, is you'll see your mind wandering. Your mind's probably wandering right now. It's like, I wonder if my bed is soft enough. Oh, did I bring enough pillows? Oh, when is the retreat going to end? And it's just being able to reconnect in the moment, which is like I was just meditating earlier on, and just being able to be in this moment. There's something freeing about it. That's like the magic and the growth, the insights that you want, the freedoms, the reason why you come here, the capacity of this mind, all lives in this moment. It's a very, very simple teaching, but it does wonders to the mind. And at the beginning, some of you are beginners, may find it difficult to settle in this moment. That's why we have different techniques or different ways of bringing this mind into the moment. And one of the ways to do it is to do some walking meditation. Who's interested in walking meditation? Put your hands up. I see a lot of people. So I'll give you a demonstration. As you can see, I'm kind of big, so I don't do much walking meditation. Anyways, so you can, like, we have walking meditation paths, like over there, and they're quite simple, and that's been done purposely because we don't get distracted by our surroundings. So the more boring a place is, the better it is for your mind. So walking meditation is very simple. So when we just find a track, say maybe 20 meters, some people like it shorter, some people like it longer. It's really up to you. But I always like to tell people is to just keep it as natural as possible. It's like, just like how you're walking, but try to walk calmly. Some people are really fast walkers. I don't think you don't want to be doing that. Don't want to walk too slow, but walk in a relaxed manner. And all you do is just maybe 2 or 3 meters in front of you. You just keep your gaze down, and you just walk, and just keep your arms still, and just walk like this. And because the body's moving, it's sort of like a physical sensation. It's easier for your mind it's easier to put your mind onto your body. So you can feel like your legs moving, yeah. Or you're walking outside, the breeze on your face, that kind of thing. Or the sounds in the forest. You just keep your eyes down, don't look around. And just go back and forth. some places they tell you to go really slow. You can try that out. There's no wrong or right way, but just do something that works for you. But the main thing is to just be able to use the physical movement to bring your mind into the moment. That's why people do yoga, I think. Like my sister does yoga, and she says it's like a moving meditation. Yeah. As you can see, I don't do yoga. Okay. All right. So yes, it's all about practice, giving it a shot, and having some sort of understanding within yourself, or knowing, so it's like, just be stubborn sometimes and have the understanding that if you continue doing this simple practice of sitting down, closing your eyes, then the mind will slowly and start to become peaceful, starts to become calm. And, you can always feel that sense of calmness, that sense of peace, wherever you are. You can actually feel it right now. If you can, just try to tune into it. It's like if the body's calm, is your body relaxed? This room is quiet. There's a certain calmness about it. And it all lives in this moment. So when we're sitting in meditation, sometimes, people ask you, how long should I sit? How many hours should I do? And even though it's good to put in the hours, because those hours will give you the experience, those hours will sort of teach your mind where it's at in terms of this meditation practice. And also it gives you the opportunity to observe your own mind, to see what's inside of it. Sitting down, closing your eyes, you'll see your mind, I think, which wanders around. But also you'll see a mind which can see the silence. And just like at the beginning, silence can be something which is unfamiliar to your mind. It's like nothing is going on in there. And you may think there's something wrong, or you may start to get bored. And then the mind will start reaching for something to think about. And I think this is because of the way our thinking has been developed over the years, how we've been taught as children, what we've learnt at school. When there's nothing happening in the mind, then we have this negative relationship to it. But coming from a meditator's perspective, the silence in the mind is something which is positive, something which will the longer that you stay in that silence, the more benefits that you see from it. Because in that, like, always like feel like in that silence of the mind, there's a lack of stress. In that silence of the mind, there's a lack of anxiety, there's a lack of craving. It's sort of like, once you learn how to meditate, your lives may be so busy. Like, you can do this as an experiment. You might get into an argument, you might be feeling flustered, or the week that you had, it was like super busy and you can't get it out of your mind. Just find a place and just sit down. Close your eyes and just get into that moment, that silence. And that's where you can see how beneficial the meditation can be. And that's the reason why we do it, is to be able to get away. Like, always like the idea of like be able to get away from the busyness of life, to be able to give yourself that time to just sit and relax. And it's like, what's the reason why people come here? I think that's one of the, some people may have high aspirations. They want to become enlightened or get the deep insights. But I think a lot of people who come across this path, who are interested in the meditation, is to just be able to find like a tool that they can use to help them decrease the stress in their lives. So when you meditate, it doesn't really matter what posture that you use. The reason why I'm using a chair is because my back isn't that good. So I just get myself into a posture where it's comfortable. Some of you may feel comfortable on the ground. Some of you may feel comfortable in a chair. It doesn't really matter how you sit or how you fold your legs. I think the most important thing when you're meditating is to sit as comfortably as possible, so that your body doesn't disturb your mind. Because if you sit in an uncomfortable posture, you might have like an ache in the leg, and that can disturb the mind. Or you're trying to sit on the ground and you get a sore back, and that's disturbing. So if that's disturbing, then just change your posture around. Sit in a chair or sit on the ground. I've seen people lie down before. I don't recommend that because you might fall asleep. So whatever's comfortable. And I think like I remember when I first started out, the body is actually a bit of a distraction when you first meditate, because it's kind of weird how your mind works. It's like it finds, like, sometimes the mind finds meditation boring, so it looks for things to distract itself. So then it may start focusing on the body, like you start to itch, like you get these like itches when you start to meditate. So you want to scratch your back, or you want to scratch your leg, or whatever. But then after a while, after you've been doing this for some time, the body calms down and the mind kind of like forgets about it. So you don't really need to scratch, or you don't really need to move around that much. So then it's sort of like, that's one of the questions that I always ask myself, and something that you might ask a teacher. When you're sitting in meditation, are you supposed to be sitting still? And then the people might ask, well, can I scratch my body, or can I move? And I always say if it itches, then scratch it. If you need to move, then move. But try to kind of resist it for a little while. because otherwise it can become too distracting. Like every itch or every like bit of soreness or discomfort you move. And sometimes you can actually sit through it, and it gets to the point where, you know, it may be itchy, but you can sit through it and it doesn't become itchy anymore. Or the pain, like the body may become uncomfortable, and your leg might be sore or your back might be hurting, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should get up. But try not to get up. Just sit and see how it goes. But if it hurts too much or it's too uncomfortable, then get up and change your posture. Because at the same time, it's also good to keep still when you're meditating. Because if you start moving too much, it can become a disturbance. And it's just something for the beginners. I always remember when I was up in the workshop in Jhana, there was this German fella who was just like in a van, just traveling around Australia. And he just stumbled across the monastery. And he is a beginner in meditation, and he was just telling me his experiences. And he said like, you know, even though he put time into his meditation practice, he didn't see any like positive results. His mind was still restless. It was still sleepy. And it didn't really in a sense what the teachers tell you about meditation, he didn't achieve those things. But he said the one positive thing that he got from it was that after he sat, even though his mind wasn't peaceful, when he got out of the meditation, he felt good about himself. There was a sense of like being rested. A sense of like giving yourself a break from everything. And I think that's the cause of just seeing like a little bit of benefit, even though your mind is restless, from the meditation practice. Just being able to just sit down and give yourself a break from the world. Even though your mind is sleepy or whatever, when you get out of it, see if you can find some sort of benefit from doing that. Because I remember when I first started meditating. I was working in a restaurant, and we used to do split shifts, and so we finished at 3 and had to come back at 5. I think it was ages ago. And then I would go home, and then, you know, you're just a newbie to Buddhism and meditation. So I just sat meditation, and my mind was tired. It was sleepy. It was thinking about, have I chopped enough onions? I'm going to get fired tonight. No, I wasn't thinking about that. But then I just sat, because it's something that I wanted to do, and something I just sort of knew that if I just continued doing it, then I'll get some sort of benefits from it. So then I sat, nothing special happened, but then when I got up and got up, you know, I just felt better for doing it. And it's also like, you know, when we're meditating, we're trying to understand our minds, right? Like these teachings, you know, what does clarity of mind mean? What does compassion and kindness and all those kinds of things, the insights of the mind. And you can read about it, you can hear me talk about it, but I think when you meditate, that's when you discover what those words mean. I tell you what those words are, I sort of show you the way, but this discovery of the meaning of the words is found within your own mind. And I think you find it, parts of it, in the meditation practice. So you may not know what silence is right now. You may not know what clarity or brightness of mind is right now in your practice, in your meditation. But if you continue doing it, if you observe, if you're mindful, if you see what's happening, then those meanings will sort of arise, or those meanings will become clear to you. And in a sense, it's like, we're always looking for like insights of the mind. What does this mean? What does that mean? And yes, that's all very well, but it's like, how do you find out the meaning of it? And this is how you find out. It's like, how do you find out what the present moment is? It's by trying to be in it, by being in it long enough to understand what it really is. It's like, how do you know what anger is? Because you've been angry so many times already. You know what I mean? Or how do you know what happiness is? Because you've been happy enough times. And it's the same, like meditation is like a new territory. You haven't been there before. So at the beginning it's always like muddy and murky. You don't really see what is happening. That's why we always say, be in the moment, be silent. Because the silences of the mind, being in the moment, is sort of like declutters the mind. The mind becomes clearer so you can see what's inside it. And you can see the benefits of it. It's always like, that's why you have to like be observant. See what's happening in your mind. Like, observe your moods. And, you don't discard them. Like, observe your mood. Well, I'm tired right now. I'm angry right now. I'm anxious right now. Observe it, know it. And then it's not always like that. You get taught to be in the moment. It's like, what is it like? Like you're walking through the forest, being in the moment. There's like calmness and clarity there. But you don't really know it because you haven't been in it long enough. But once you like hang out with it long enough, then you know what it is and you know the benefits of it. It's like you can't really I think it's like this idea of getting rid of your anger and getting rid of your greed and getting rid of your anxiety. Yes, that's a nice dream to have. But it's a nice dream to have, but it's something that you can't get rid of, in a sense. So you can't wake up and be like if you're an angry person, you can't just wake up and be not an angry person. But it's something that you sort of like chip away at. Like this path is always like the chipping away path. The take your time path. Yeah? Just take your time. There's no magical pill. And just step by step. And just building it up. You don't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes. Don't be hard on yourself. There's another retreat next week or something like that. Or there's another one in a fortnight. Always come back and just keep trying. Observe your mind. See what's around you. See what's within you. And it's like, I don't know how it works, but then you sort of like, you start to understand, observe what's going on in your mind. Be mindful, just observe, and then understanding will arise. It's like, and what kind of understanding is it? It's like the understanding of what's beneficial for me, like in terms of my mind, what's beneficial for my mind. Yeah. You start to understand that, and you hang out with what is beneficial for you. So instead of going to the places which causes you more grief, you go to the places where it brings you more stability, more contentment. It's not like you're always content, but you know how to get there. Yeah? It's like Yeah, that's what it is. That's what we're learning here. Learning how to get to the place where there's contentment. So you can live your wild lives, sort of wild, don't be too wild, please. You got your kids, you got whatever, but you know where to go if you want to find some contentment. And as, just, you don't have to be saints, you don't have to be monks, you just have to work towards something. And just like I said, just give yourself a chance to do it. Don't give up too easily, because once you get it, it's like your brain learns something new. It's like a new skill that you've learnt. And even though you may not pick up that skill for a couple of days or whatever, you have it there. So whenever you need to find that sense of contentment, you can always go back there. But in order to get there first, you have to find it. And you do that through observing your own mind. And the more you observe, the more understanding you have. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good enough, eh? It's going to be a long 2 days. So we can do some meditation. Yeah, it's always good. I'll guide you for about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. And no need to control the mind. Yeah, it's going to be, some of you are going to have wild experiences. Some of you you're going to be calm. Some of you are going to be sleepy, but don't worry about it too much. Some of you are going to burn. I remember burning when I first started to meditate. Oh, it was so hard. You sit there, you're like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this for? But the mind changes over time. But the door's always there if you want to walk out. Can we turn down the lights a bit? It's a bit too bright. Oh, that's a lot. I can't see who's sleeping. I can't see who's walked out. I can't see it yet. All right. Oh, it's a cold night tonight. It's a lot colder in the forest, eh? Yeah. You guys don't have heaters, do you? You do? There's tiny ones, right? Hug it when you sleep tonight. It's the only way it's going to keep you warm. Okay, well... We have a new retreat manager. Yeah? She's doing a great job. Okay, that's good enough, eh? All right. So we just center yourself. Just get comfortable. We can take a deep breath to help you relax. Just bring the awareness of your mind into this room. This room is a nice, just a nice place to place your focus on. The quietness of this room. There's a present momentness about this room. And just relax your body. Relax it so much that the body's not disturbing your mind. And you're just bringing your mind into this moment. Bringing it into this moment and staying in this moment. But at the same time, be observant and not controlling. Don't control anything, but just watch. When you control the mind, I don't think you learn much. But if you watch it, that's when you start learning a lot. Watch it. Be restless. Watch it. Be uncomfortable. Yeah. From the watching, that's where the learning comes from. When you start to control, you're trying to force your mind to be in the moment. You try to force your mind to be peaceful. I don't think you're really learning that much if you take this approach. So we're just trying to understand what this present moment is. Experiencing it. That's all we're doing. So the mind is a bit chatty, then I just allow it to be. Allow your mind to be chatty. We're not here to control the mind. We're just here to observe. In the sense like sitting meditation, it's kind of like purifying the mind. Like the longer you sit, the mind will sort itself out. That kind of thing. So as we're sitting, we're just trying to have a accepting attitude, or just trying to be cool. Just trying to be cool with whatever's happening now. It's sort of like, it's like you're having a best friend, and your best friend is just yapping away, just going off. And because he or she is your best friend, you're kind of cool with that. You can just sit and watch or hear whatever's happening. In the same way, just with your mind, just treat it like a best friend. Your mind can be saying this, or your mind can be doing that. Because your mind is your best friend, you can be cool with it. You can just sit down and listen to it and watch it. So as you're meditating, just try to occasionally bring your mind back into the moment. Sometimes you catch yourself thinking a bit too much. And that's the time when you sort of nudge it back into this moment. Okay, I'm going to hit the gong and we can come out of the meditation. It's not a very nice gong, is it? Dong. Being a bit silly, eh? Okay, anyways. At least somebody's laughing. Okay, so I was just thinking I won't see you until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So there's a lot of time between now and then. And just to give you a little bit of a direction. So this is a wonderful opportunity that you have right now in this meditation retreat center. There's hardly any schedules. There is a schedule to sort of follow, but you don't have to follow it. But just try to make use of the opportunity that you have. If you're a person that gets up early, get up early and just, understand that you're at a retreat center. So just hop along into this room and start meditating. But it's not like meditating to cause yourself a headache because you don't want to have 2 days worth of headaches. But you want to meditate to feel comfortable. So everybody has their level of tolerance. Some people can sit and tolerate whatever's happening in their minds for a long, long time, and they can be okay with that. So if you're one of those people, then just carry on sitting. But if you're a person that cannot do that kind of thing, just come and just sit for 10, 15, 30 minutes to begin with. When you feel there's a bit of too much tension in the mind, then just get up and go for a walk or something like that. Like moving the body, I think going for a walk help relaxes the mind. Sometimes sitting down with the eyes closed and keeping still, things can become a little bit too tense. And I think if you continue that cycle of tenseness in the next 2 days, it's not going to be that beneficial for you. So you have to understand, where your mind's at and be able to give yourself those breaks. But also, once you feel better, understand that you also have this great opportunity. So when you get the chance, you're feeling better, relax, just come back into the hall and just sit. Yeah. Because, once in a lifetime. No, it's not once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's something that you can learn some experiences here, hopefully positive ones, and then you can take that with you. And if it's good enough, you continue practicing meditation. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good night. Good night. We can bow to the Buddha 3 times.